I'm not making a single change. Welcome back everybody to the World's Worst Fishing. I'm your host Chris Jones, and thanks for being here today to join us for another video where we play with color and glitter in our garage. You know, it's one of those kind of funny things. If I boil down this hobby all the way down to gravy, it's pretty much what we do. We're just playing with colors and little you know, creepy crawler molds. But no, seriously, thanks again for being back. And today we're going to do an interesting color match. We've done a lot of color matches over the years, you know, from big brands and then, you know, more hyper-focused, hyper-realistic matching natural references. But I recently saw a photo of a bait and I was like, I definitely want to try that one. It's a 6 cents color, and let's take a look at it real quick and just see what we're up against. And then I'll kind of show you what I'm thinking for the color, and then we'll get into the color build. Yeah, isn't that cool? Wow, what a shot. Let's see if we can get in a little bit closer. Isn't that nice? So right away, we're going to need, sorry, I'm trying to get all this to focus here. We're going to need a brown and a chartreuse and lots of flakes. But that's sort of what we're going to go for today. Alright, so I think I can get away with just these 3 bottles of color. Obviously, brown for the brown side, no duh. We have a little bit of black to darken that side up. And then we have a old bottle of chartreuse. This one's about gone, folks. It doesn't even have a label anymore. For the green side. And so what we can do is we can take this base chartreuse and then we can add little bits of black to it to tailor it to the shade of green that we need. And that's something you can do if you don't have every single shade of chartreuse offered. Nice little example here is this G5 swim bait. This one required a little bit of darkening in that chartreuse layer there, right? So you can get a lot of different chartreuses just from the same bottle. Alright, so one thing about this particular bait is that is sort of a little bit different laminate. It's sort of a sideways laminate, not necessarily top to bottom to how the bait sits in the cavity. So we're going to try to get that effect today, but we are going to shoot it as a regular laminate, and I'll kind of explain what I mean by that. Yeah, that is definitely a different kind of laminate being sort of sideways, and it's real hit or miss. So what we're going to do is we're going to laminate it normally first, just to see if we think we got the color, and then we'll screw around and see if we can get sort of one of the sideways laminates. You know, that bait actually does get fished flat like this, right side up, and so the laminate kind of goes down that middle side as opposed to top to bottom. Alright, so obviously these are going to be laminate injection today, so we need a good dual injector. So we've got our Angling AI premium injector, and then we're going to start with 2 1-cup sizes of dead-on plastics craw tube blend, because I'm gonna probably shoot this in a frog, since that's probably the most similar thing I have to the bait being used by the color example. Let's see, 2 1-cup sizes. Let's start with 4.5 minutes on the clock. The brown side is gonna get brown, if you can believe that. Come on, I gotta have a sense of humor sometimes. Alright, and then the chartreuse side is gonna get, you guessed it, blue. But no, we will start with some chartreuse and just kind of see where that gets us, right? On both sides here. This is my favorite part, is just watching a color come to life. Alright. And so something that I have to keep in mind here is that while the chartreuse side in our picture example is very much more green than that, it is also being laminated with that dark brown. Okay, so the brown playing on the green will alter my shade of green, and when I say green I really mean chartreuse here. Alright, so I like to do something called the drizzle test, where I just kind of drizzle both colors together down here on the table and just kind of see how they mix together. That sort of lets me know if I'm on the right track. And that is what we have from one such drizzle test. So as we can see, really bright chartreuse, but where it mixes up with that brown, it changes into more of that lime-truce green. However, my brown is still, I think, maybe a little bit too dark of a shade of brown. So we're going to actually brown ours up by adding a little bit of yellow. And that will kind of give it a little bit more of that milk chocolate looking brown, which I think might get us a little bit closer. Yellow might be the secret ingredient for this one. That might be exactly what the doctor ordered. Okay, this color is very, very flake heavy. Not necessarily in total saturation of flake, but in variety of flake. There's a lot of stuff going on, okay? We have sort of a little bit of medium black flake in that top brown side, but then I'm seeing all kinds of colors. All right, so along with a little bit of the medium-sized black flake, there is also a little bit of small black flake. And there's quite a few different colors of small flake that I'm seeing. Small being the 0.015 size. So we're gonna go black on that as well. All right, a little bit of orange flake there. A little bit of small green. There's even purple in there that I'm seeing. All sorts of stuff, right? So we just kind of want to keep adding our flakes until we think we have it right. Oop, knocked my molds over. Party foul. All right, our small purple is in there, and then one more that I see for sure is small gold. I'm not sure if I see really many other colors. I don't think I see blue. It's hard to say, right? I mean, this is quite the little, quite the little treasure chest of flake here. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, check that out. All right, and that's probably going to look pretty bright on camera because it is. On the chartreuse side, I'm only seeing green, gold, and small black flake. That's really all I'm seeing. So a little bit simpler there on the chartreuse side. So we're going to go with that. All right, now time to lock and load on the dual injector, and here we go. Like I said, we're going to shoot them normal at first. Try to get like real actual laminates. And then we'll use our leftovers to just sort of have playtime, seeing if we can laminate them sideways. There we go. It's always neat to see the inner workings of the blending block, how the magic of laminates happen. So far, I think our colors are looking pretty nice. Drum roll, please. Let's see what we got. Well, did we get it? Boy, it's about there, isn't it? I like this bottom one. Let's get this bottom one out. Ho, ho, ho. Yep, guys. I think that is it. I like how that laminate is dirty too. It's got a little bit of random swirl to it, which I kind of like. Alright. Wow. Alright, and last but not least. There we go. Yep, I'm 100% happy with that. I'm not making a single change. All right, and before we look at the stinger molds, the stingers that we shot with the first round of frogs, we're going to go ahead and try to do some goofy laminates here, and then we have a bonus mold. All right, and for goofy laminates, we're just going to turn the block the wrong way, right? This block should be perpendicular to the frog mold instead of inline. Much like how we're going to do this one, perpendicular. Alrighty. As you can see, it makes a mess, but we kind of got one to do it. Kinda. Very interesting there. Talk about a hot mess. That's why you don't do laminates that way. All right, and there's our bonus mold, the AI spade-tail worm. Yep, I figured it would look good in probably just about any color. Very nice color there. And just in keeping sort of with the creature bait theme, there it is, looking absolutely stunning in the angling AI stinger mold. Yeah. Really nice there. I think that worked out nice. All right, everybody. Well, that was a pretty fun little color match there. Tell me what you guys think. I'm actually surprised that I got it on the first try. I was expecting to maybe have to go back to the drawing board a little bit, and the part that I was unsure of was I going to get the chartreuse right? Because I only had one, real chartreuse color, and I knew that I could tweak it a little bit, and it turned out to be absolutely perfect. That's just straight on. That's just straight dead on chartreuse. I know dead on has a couple other chartreuses, lime truce, and all the other ones. But yeah, I think that worked out really well. Which bait was your favorite? Do you prefer the frogs? Do you like the worms? Yeah? Or the stingers? Let me try to show you a little bit of everything here. So I'm sure my camera's loving having to focus on all that. So yeah, a great color match. Let me know what you guys want to see next in terms of color matching videos. That's sort of how we made our name in here, was doing color match videos. Be on the lookout for the next casting creations. And now I'm going to see if I can recreate a similar photo to that really great photo of this 6th Sense bait. Let's go see if we can do that for maybe a nice thumbnail. Yeah, that right there looks about right. That beautiful frog hanging out of an 11-pound bass. I wonder if that fish actually would have bit that. We'll never know. Cool color, guys. Really cool color. If you hear a bunch of clicking, it's my dogs walking around the kitchen. You know, these are probably some of my funnest videos to do, or most enjoyable for me to film, are just color matches. That's kind of how I started YouTube. That's how I started, well, that's how I started bait making YouTube, was just doing color matches, and then we did our popular colors playlists, and man, I have such fond memories of picking out a color and just going for it on camera. I don't practice. I don't have a recipe ahead of time. You're seeing just the raw, journey to build a color, and I really enjoy making videos like that. Brings back great memories. The old school World's Worst Fishing, when it was just me at night in my garage, just coming up with colors. So these videos are really special for me to get to do, and we're bringing back some beer. I know a lot of people used to always give me the German beer jokes. So, but anyways, again, guys, this little outro here is just to say thanks for tuning in. We've been doing YouTube 9 years now, and writer's block is a real thing. It's hard to come up with new content, especially every week, and try to do something that you didn't do before, and that you haven't done 400 times already. So luckily there are a lot of great colors out there that I still have not tried, I still have not conquered, and we will try to conquer them all before we are finished. That I can guarantee you. So be on the lookout again for the next casting creations. Lots of interesting territory to get into there. We definitely are on the more opinionated side on the live stream, the podcast forum. So definitely check that out. Big thanks as always to Angling AI Molds. I can't even talk. Angling AI Molds and Dead on Plastics. Without their support over the years, you know, we would not have made it this far, or even a fraction of this far. So, you know, again, if you're looking into joining the hobby, joining the fight, joining the soft bait world, definitely check out those two companies. They're going to treat you right. Amazing products. With that said, it's so good. See you in the next video.